right, so the Annie Idibia and Two-Faces saga continues as Toke Makinwa was one of the first celebrities that came out to call Two-Face out and was calling on all women, married, single, to come and support Annie. And some people were like, Toke, we're not going to do that. But later on, we got to understand why Toke was saying what Toke was saying, because it is actually Toke, allegedly, from what we saw on Stella Dimokoku's blog, that it is Toke Makinwa and the Afrobeat singer Tiwa Savage that is taking care of Annie Idibia in rehab. So it didn't sit well with them that Annie is in rehab allegedly, and Two-Face is out here on social media making a public post or public announcement announcing to the general public that he's separated from Annie Macaulay. He even called her Annie Macaulay, okay, not Annie Idibia. So they're going for divorce, is filing for divorce and things like that. He will be granting an interview and explaining everything. So Toke came out and called him out, and let's get right into all of what Toke said, because people came back and started, calling Toke, saying this, that you're calling on women to support, we're not going to stand with you, and all of that. So Toke made another post. So let's get into this conversation. So the first thing she posted was 22 hours ago. Like I said, she was one of the first. So she said, I'm not one for too much talk, but what is wrong. And as a woman, if you sit on this fence, on this one, if it misses you, it will touch your daughter or any female in your family. No one is innocent. And if you want to bring the media into it, knowing what is happening, we would fight for her. So Toke is calling on every female out there to come and stand for Annie and fight this battle. That if you're a woman, married, single, and you see this nonsense that is happening and you don't say anything, that it is going to happen to you, your daughter, somebody in your life. So that didn't sit well with a whole lot of people, and people came for Toke. So this is the next thing that Toke shared. Toke said, nobody is asking anybody to stay in a situation that is not serving them any purpose anymore. By all means, leave if you must, but why bring this online this very moment? I do agree with you. Like, this is not the right time. Do what you want to do. Go file for the divorce quietly. You don't have to post nothing on social media. Oh, divorcing this person. We're separated. We're this, we're that. People on social media don't need to know if you're getting a divorce, you're separating from your partner. It is not necessary. So Two-Face shouldn't have come out online to make this post. But anyway, she said, bringing this online at this moment, and then she continued, she said, we know what is going on behind closed doors. The world does not know anything. It is already been hectic with opinions flying around. And when I say we will fight for her, I am not talking about the general public. A handful of people know the truth, and time will tell. Timing is everything. Empathy is everything. You constantly preach love. You cannot add to the narrative that's out there when you know what is really happening behind closed doors. So Toke just cannot understand that Two-Face Idibia will be the one to make this post. That's what Toke is saying. Okay, so let me know what you think is happening. She said, look back and thank God, look forward and trust God. Toke is still posting. Toke, like, all of this thing that is happening is not sitting well with Toke at all. Okay, she said, being underestimated is a gift. Stop trying to convince, just execute. That's another post from Toke Makinwa. So, and also, like I said, Tiwa Savage also took to her social media and posted, and so many Nigerian celebrities are actually coming out in defense of Annie Idibia. Now, people are not saying that Two-Face should not get a divorce or should not tell the story. A lot of people are just saying now, look, since the reality TV show, the Netflix reality TV show, Young, Famous and African aired, everybody has been on Annie's neck. If you watch my previous videos, I was even one of those that was saying, what, like, it is you cannot unsee what we saw on that show. So everybody knows that something is up with Annie. But I just feel like people coming out and talking about it, mocking and spreading the news. Not everybody watches Netflix anyway. So that, like, I'm like, okay, let's not put that narrative out there, even though it's obvious that Annie is going through something. I was one of those that were advocating. Some other people also were advocating that people should not put out this narrative. So to see that everything that is going on, and Two-Face chose this moment that they heat, the pot is still boiling, the fire is hot, and people are bringing in more woods and fuel and gasoline and everything to fuel this fire, to make it even bigger and huger. Then you, an inner caucus member, the main person that they were using to mock her and insult her, that you have Abraham, father of all nations, your manhood does not stay in one place, you have several kids. Remember, in season 1 of that show, what was Annie's storyline? Annie's storyline was she knew Two-Face before every other person, but Two-Face had 5 children with 5 different women out there before Annie even had their first child together. So she that knew him first, their first child together is actually his 5th, according to what Annie said. So all of these things that is happening does not sit well with Toke Makinwa, and Toke feels like Two-Face Idibia should take several seats. Look, we understand that if Annie is battling with what Annie is battling with, it's going to be very difficult living with someone that is actually doing that stuff. But another question that we've not asked is, who introduced Annie into this thing? Because I'm like, okay, if it's Two-Face or all these other singers, like in the case of Solid Star and whatnot, we could understand because they are musicians, they're artists, they're they're always out there doing things, actors, actresses. Sometimes they're in places where they could be tempted to try those kind of things and they get hooked, and we start seeing this kind. But Annie kind of put everything about her career, her life, everything on a hold, and focused on Two-Face life and Two-Face everything. Wanted to be everywhere Two-Face was going, travel with Two-Face, hail Two-Face, be in the crowd and be cheering for him and everything. So how did Annie get hooked on this stuff? Who introduced Annie to whatever that we're seeing playing out? If that's it, allegedly, let's just keep throwing that word allegedly. So Toke does have a point. And listen also, when Tiwa came, Tiwa also said the world will ask you questions. And now Mary Unjoku also is another person that spoke about this, posted and said one thing that most of these celebrities that are Lagos-based are saying is the world will ask you questions. You are bringing this thing out here now, thinking that, okay, because there's already this storyline that she's on the D and she's under the influence of something. But don't forget that more questions will be asked, okay? Now, some persons are even taking this thing back to many years, when Annie's younger days, when she was in secondary school, high school, when she was in university, was she hooked on these things? So people are asking questions. Could it be Two-Face's lifestyle? Could it be someone in his circle? What is going on? So a lot of people are saying, take several seats, bro. Think about this thing. Think through properly before you come and post this thing on social media under the heat of the moment. Probably you feel like enough is enough. We understand every marriage, every relationship, every family have their own issues and everything. But the best thing to do is not to run to social media to start posting your personal thing there, because social media will most definitely not give you the best result that you will hope. And you will most definitely regret it, because things will go out of proportion. People will give unsolicited advice, will be going right, left, center. People will even formulate and say things that you didn't say, things you did not do. So it is not always wise. Remember, 2, 3, 4 years ago or so, when Annie ran to social media and was screaming, pack this car, Two-Face, man, he's gone to the United States, he's going to be with his baby mama, Pere, and they lied to me, his family does not like me, this is that, I'm going to go to social media. I said it. I still have that video on my channel. I said it. I said, Annie messed up big time. Doing that video, that recording and everything, and posting that whole thing online and everything. If you know that you're married into a family that they don't like you, his father, his mother, his family members, everybody don't like you, You have to be the smartest person. The last thing you want to do is come on social media and start screaming, because that will not help anything. So now Two-Face is repeating the same mistake, and I don't know if he just feels like the time is right because Annie is being dragged for this D issue. Drop your comments. Let me know what you think. We'll bring more videos.